Tonight, Ministry of Health and Wellness announces 2 new cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of infected persons on the island to 765, with 675 recoveries. Tonight, we will join host NICOLE HAYLES and Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, as we analyze additional findings on the COVID-19 pandemic in Jamaica from our Mello TV poll conducted by POLLSTER and CEO of Johnson Survey Research Limited, Bill Johnson.
We have a public that is much more aware as to what needs to be done, and a response team through contact tracing that has gotten enough experience to date, so we are more efficient at that.
Minister of Health and Wellness responds to allegations made regarding matters related to his personal life being circulated on social media. Still tonight, PNP alleges that information in the public domain relating to the Holland estate lands proves that Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Agriculture, J.C. Hutchinson, was involved in a conflict of interest, breach of government land divestment policy, and the abuse of ministerial power and authority. And residents of Western Kingston are calling on the relevant authorities to come to their assistance, as communities have been out of running water for some time. Good evening. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has announced 2 new cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of infected persons on the island to 765, with 675 recoveries. Still making news tonight, we will later join host NICOLE HAYLES as we continue to analyze additional findings on the COVID-19 pandemic in Jamaica from our Mello TV poll conducted by POLLSTER and CEO of Johnson Survey Research Limited, Bill Johnson, with Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton. Meanwhile, Dr. Christopher Tufton has responded to allegations regarding his personal life being circulated on social media. A statement issued by the minister earlier today expressed that in recent days, there has been a flood of vile, scandalous allegations and innuendos on social media aimed at tainting his good name and reputation. Dr. Tufton also stated, and I quote, "These disgusting, vicious, and false attributions made under the cover of social media have caused great pain and suffering and are clearly aimed at damaging my career as well as causing emotional distress." End quote. He further stated that the matter has been reported to the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Division, CTOC, of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, and he has also instructed his attorneys to use all available legal steps to ensure the prosecution of these cybercriminals, and in any event to seek recourse in the civil courts when their identities are ascertained. Still tonight, the People's National Party, PNP, has alleged that information now in the public domain relating to the 2,400-acre Holland estate lands proves that Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Agriculture, J.C. Hutchinson, was involved in a conflict of interest, breach of government land divestment policy, and the abuse of ministerial power and authority. The PNP is also alleging that Mr. Hutchinson also failed to declare spousal business transactions with the government in the interest of transparency, and that consequent to government policy breaches precipitated by his actions, Mr. Hutchinson should vacate his seat in the House of Parliament. In news from the capital, residents of Western Kingston are calling on the relevant authorities to come to their assistance, as the communities have been out of running water for some time.
We in the Denham Town community, we really and truly need the water. We can't wash, we can't cook. We need the water soon as possible.
About 5 years, 6 years or more, we haven't had any water in West Kingston. No running water through my pipe. But it's only like the scheme, the new housing scheme that which are just recently been built. That's the only place that have water. We have to go far and search at people yard to get water. We don't have no water.
We have to walk and catch water all boat. Some buckle we have to carry to catch water and buy water from the shop.
Some of the people them can't manage to carry water, them have to pay all man carry water and card for them and things. You understand? So we need some water.
I have a problem because I have a back pain since I carry the water. Because I have to carry it from over here and over gully, but we are last floor. And it's uncomfortable bad. It's very uncomfortable. One know I'm to water in West Kingston here. Every time I come in with the stay, pay water rate. Every gang you have a flat rate, because on a one boy so you have flat rate. They will pay a water bill. But so long when I said it's coming and we now get the water now. I said, Kobe, come in.
In news from St. Elizabeth, a woman has died and a man is in custody following a domestic dispute this morning in Brompton. The deceased has been identified as 49-year-old Hilreth Stevenson, domestic helper of Top Hill, St. Elizabeth. According to reports, Ms. Stevenson, who was in a relationship with the accused, went to Brompton Lane in the Brompton community where she was engaged to do domestic duties. It is reported that while on the way, she became involved in an argument with the accused, with whom she had ended a relationship earlier this year. During the argument, the accused used a knife to stab Ms. Stevenson. She was taken to the Black River Hospital where she was pronounced dead. In news from Trelawney, a man said to be of unsound mind has been taken into custody by the police following an incident where he allegedly fatally stabbed his own mother in Clarkstown on Tuesday. The deceased, who has been identified as Hyacinth Ellison, and her son were at home shortly after midday when a dispute allegedly developed between them. During the dispute, the accused man reportedly brandished a knife, which he used to stab his mother multiple times. She was taken to the hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Her son was later taken into custody by the police. Investigations into the incident are ongoing. In an update, police investigators have arrested a close relative of a 36-year-old woman from Trelawney, Tamara Geddes, in connection with her murder. Ms. Geddes was killed inside her bedroom in her community in Reserve District on June 19. On Wednesday, the relative reportedly confessed to the police that she plotted the murder. The accused and her mother have now been taken into custody for further questioning. It is reported that the relative gave a caution statement in which she admitted to hiring the man to kill Geddes. One relative said there had been ongoing disagreements between Geddes and the relative, who reportedly confessed to the killing. According to police, at approximately 8:30 p.m. on Friday, June 19, Geddes and her 10-year-old daughter were inside their bedroom when a masked man armed with a handgun forced his way into the room and held them at gunpoint. The armed man reportedly demanded money and proceeded to rob Geddes of $16,000 in cash and 2 cell phones. The man then demanded sex, but his request was refused. He then opened fire at Geddes, hitting her multiple times. He then fled the house and escaped into nearby bushes. Still making news tonight, Parliament on Tuesday approved an order tabled by the Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, to amend the Interception of Communications Act, giving authorization to a cadre of designated high-ranking officers of the Jamaica Defence Force, JDF, and the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, to access real-time information in critical situations. The legislation authorizes the interception of communications of a specific person named in a warrant and enables the authorizing officers to request technical information from telecommunications service providers. Now, under the order, those now authorized to access real-time information are the Chief of Staff of the JDF, Head of the Military Intelligence Unit of the JDF, the Commissioner of Police, the Assistant Commissioner in charge of the Narcotics Unit of the JCF, the Assistant Commissioner in charge of the National Intelligence Bureau of the JCF, and the Director General of the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency. Opposition spokesperson on national security Fitz Jackson says he has no objections to the order being approved, but warned that information in the wrong hands could have serious implications. Back in the capital, the mayor of Kingston, Delroy Williams, has called on the government to review the Noise Abatement Act in an effort to encourage more investments and bring order to the entertainment fraternity. Mayor Williams says there are too many uncertainties in the music industry, in particular, the sector of the industry that deals with events and event promotions, and added that there ought to be greater order and certainty in that sector, and as such, the Noise Abatement Act ought to be reviewed. Still making news tonight, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, MLSS, is advising the public that Emancipation Day, a public holiday, will be observed on Saturday, August 1, 2020 as scheduled. This is in accordance with the holiday's Public General Act, which stipulates that the first day of August, or in case the first day of August falls on a Sunday, then the following Monday shall be known as Emancipation Day. And those were the stories making news. I am Shelley Hill. We'll now join Nicole HAYLES with Decision 2020.